Hey, what's up, YouTube? D-80 here today, and in case you guys haven't heard, we got our new ban list today. So, really quickly, I'll go over what was hit and what was moved up the list. So, first off, and this is all on Konami's website if you guys don't know, and also on Yu-Gi-Oh! Organization and all pretty much everything pertaining to Yu-Gi-Oh! Has it updated, I think, right now. So, banned is Monkey Board and Kaiser Coliseum. Limit is Sir, Malbranch of the Burning Abyss, Ether, the Heavenly Monarch, Dark Destroyer, Cosmo Dark Destroyer, Magispector Kirin, Beatrice Lady the Eternal, Emergency Teleport, Pantheism, Pendulum Call, and Stormforth of the Monarch. Semi-limited, meaning it's going to 2. We got Max C and Thunder King Ryo and Wind Up Magician. And then finally, unlimited is Thousand Eyes Restrict, Lure of Darkness, and Gold Sark. So, interesting list. We knew a lot of stuff was getting hit, and we knew this was going to be a list that changes the format because, I mean, a lot of people have been calling for this format to change because they think it's stale, and they think that a lot of the decks in this format are degenerate or not fun to play against. And for the most part, I would agree with. I mean, you have Cosmo, which just brings out huge untargetable ships. Monarchs lock down your extra deck and tribute your opponents, or you tribute your own opponent's stuff. You got Kirin, who can bounce Monkey or Crobat Joker and bounce one of your monsters. So, I mean, there are a lot of problems with this format, and I think, for the most part, I think this list did a pretty good job of actually taking care of that. Looking at the ban, I mean, Monkey Board was a card we knew was gonna get banned. It's banned in the OCG, and it's, I mean, I play Pendulums, Odd Eyes Magicians, and use it, and it's just not a fair card. It really isn't. I mean, being able to get one card scales and generic 1 through 8 scales really limits card design, and also just, I mean, it's such a luck stat card, especially at 1. In the Pendulum Mirror match, whoever gets it first is most likely going to win. And then Kaiser Coliseum got banned. Strange hit. What a lot of people are saying, and I tend to agree with this, is the card wasn't hit because of its power or anything. I mean, it's a good side decking card. It's a good, but what really I think made it ban, or why they banned it, is because of the rulings with Stormforth and with Kaijus, and with Kaijus being such a big part of our metagame now in sideboards and generic removal. Kaiser kind of really has a hard ruling. I would have liked to stay at 3. I think it's a great card for side decking, and it helps a lot of road decks, but Konami apparently decided they don't want to deal with it. So we'll see how that ends up. It could be very interesting if it ever comes back. Next we have Seer was limited. These are the limited cards. Seer, Malbranch of the Burning Abyss. Probably the that or Scarm should have been to 1. I guess Seer was made the victim. I mean, BA still has triple Scarm and triple Dante. They're still a contender in this meta. They'll be a little slower, and you can't recycle as much. But I mean, it's still, Seer is still a card, and BA is still gonna probably be, as it has been for the past 2 years, a top tier deck. Next, we'll go to the Monarch hits, which Ether, where was it? Pantheism and Stormforth all going to 1. I love that. I honestly, I don't like Monarchs. I don't think they're fun to play against, but I love the Ether and the Stormforth hit, I should say, because those are power plays that I think are not, the fact that you can disrupt your opponent's turn and get a card that fuels your graveyard is at no cost too, because you're tributing your opponent's monster usually with Stormforth is too powerful, I think, and there's a reason Monarchs were one of the best decks this year. Pantheism I don't like as much of a hit. Pantheism, I believe, was a card that could have stayed at 3 to give Monarchs their consistency, which they need. And I think if you take away Stormforth and Ether, you make Monarchs into a fair, fun deck that is rogue. But that Pantheism hit, I would have rather seen the Prime Monarch go to 1 than Pantheism, because I think the Prime Monarch leads to more issues than Pantheism. Yes, it's generic draw power, or it's draw power and searching, which is really, really good. I mean, we've had cards get hit, as I'll show ahead, for doing less, but I think Pantheism is a card that could have stayed at 3. So knock those out. Next up, Dark Destroyer and E-Telly are kind of the Cosmo hits. E-Telly to 1, I feel bad for Ritual Beast players, honestly, because they just keep on getting these hits to decks that, I mean, with Canahawk at 1, ouch, and then also E-Telly now going to 1 there, and it also, I was actually surprised with the E-Telly hit because of Metal Foes. I thought Konami would want Metal Foes to do really well, so putting it to 1 kind of hurts that deck. I guess, I mean, they're still so consistent and they still have so many other plays they can make, but it does kind of hurt Metal Foes. DD to 1, DD is a very strong card. I mean, it's untargetable 3k beater. It's a great card. And the problem is Cosmos can still get this out ridiculously fast. With Allure going to 3 and Goldstar going to 3, Cosmo players can still turbo out Dark Destroyer. They can still get them back with Cosmo Town. I would have liked to actually see Cosmo Town go to 1, because that makes it so that it can't search itself, which is one of the main problems with that card. And also it forces Cosmo players to be more careful with what they banish. So I think Cosmo will be a top 3 deck in the next format. I really do. They're very strong. I think it'll be Cosmos, Blue Eyes, and ABCs. I think are going to be the 3 top decks. That's my predictions. I'll talk about them more in another video, but those 2 hits were, I don't think, enough to kill Cosmo at all. Metal Foes did get an indirect hit with E-Telly to 1, as I said, and I forgot 1 card. Oh no, I didn't. Never mind. And Kieran going to 1. Kieran to 1, I think, is a good hit. As a Odd Eyes Magician who played 3 Kieran, I think it's a fair hit. Because I think Kieran was such a problem card. It allowed you to recycle jokers. It allowed you to bounce things. And the biggest problem, it wasn't targetable. Not being able to be bottomless, or even if you did Solemn Strike on its bounce effect and never destroyed it, was too strong. And I think Kieran is a card that at 1 is fine, but should not have stayed at 3. So I got that. Beatrice to 1. I like this because it hits. I mean, Dante is a strong card in and of itself, but being able to go into Beatrice and then float into another 28k or 2800 attack untargetable monster is Cosmos all over again. And Beatrice, I mean, was such a disruption card during your opponent's turn that it really allowed BA to top. I mean, they topped a lot of events this year, and it really boosted the deck. I think at 1 is fine because you can't. The biggest problem, I think, is if you have an opponent get out 1, you can work through that. But getting out 2 or 3 of those, which BA is able to do, really, really, really could hurt the deck. Sorry, it's late here, guys. And then Pendulum Call to 1. This is the card, and I'm probably biased, but this is the card where I really, really question um, Konami's choice here, because Pendulum Call is a card. If you look at what Magicians have done, yes, Magic Spectre Magicians have done pretty well. Um, Odd Eyes haven't really done a lot. Perform Pal don't use the Magicians, so Pen Call wasn't a card that should have been hit. I don't think. I think it was more the TCG following the OCG's example, which I would like us to be our own metagame, and I think that us just blindly following, because pen call was not a problem for any deck. No one was complaining about pen call. Oh, searching two magicians. If you look at what with pendulums, people were complaining about. It was Monkey Board and Kieran. Those were the two, and that's what Konami hit. Pen call one just really kills a lot of these magician decks, and kills a lot of rogue decks too. That like Buster Bladers rely on the Magician engine, and now with one Wisdom Eye and one Pen Call, it's going to be very hard for Buster Bladers to do anything. So yeah, I mean, we still have, there's still Oak Dragon, there's still one Wisdom Eye, which Wisdom Eye, we still have the Dragon Pit and the Dragon Pulse, so we can still or the TCG can still have these tops for pendulum decks, but they'll be a lot less consistent than they were. I'm sounding really biased here, but thank God they didn't hit Sky Iris, because, and honestly, I think Sky Iris was more a problem card than Pen Call because of Vortex, but and searching Fusion. But I feel like it's very interesting what the TCG did. Now on to the semi-limits. We got Max C to 2. What the hell, Konami? Yeah. We'll just take that in for a second. Max C, I think, is one of the most fair cards in that it's not a floodgate, but it still makes your opponent choose whether they think they can OTK. It punishes bad, or it punishes overextending, and punishes bad players, I think. I think Maxi was a card that allowed your opponent to go off. If they're a good player and they can OTK, they will know whether to stop for Maxi or go off. And putting it to 2, I mean, people argue that semi-limits don't do anything, but it still will affect consistency. And I mean, a lot of people play Maxi just at 2, but side in a third, and putting it at 2 really, really, I think, hurts a lot of decks. It hurts anything that needs that extra draw power to compete with something that can special summon a ton. Synchron's just got a big boost by that going to 2, because they can now go through stuff without worrying about giving their opponents 45 cards. Card I'm glad went to 2, actually. I feel like I keep on going back and forth between loving and hating this list. But Thunder King Ryo to 2. Ryo at 2 is really, really good, because it can... Ryo is a card that can slow down the metagame, which I really like. I prefer slower metagame. Ironic, because I play Magicians and Pendulums, which... Yeah. But Ryo is a strong card, but it's also a card that helps a lot of decks. I mean, there's a reason everyone cited it for Necraw's last format, or a couple of formats back, and I think it's a very, very good card to have at 2. And a little bit, I mean, out there, but Wind Up Magician to 2, not going to do much. I'm sorry, Wind Up players, but you still have one Zen Mage, or no Zen Mage, sorry, and you guys are just power creep to hell. Yeah, Magician's not going to do a whole ton. It'll allow windups to have their rank 4 decks, but I mean, there's so many other decks that do that better. But I mean, I'm glad to see it go to 2. I'm a really big fan of if cards aren't sitting, or if cards aren't doing anything and won't do anything, and have been on the list for a long time, take them off. I mean, I still want stress free, so. Um, Finally, unlimited. We have Thousand Eyes. It wasn't doing anything at 1. It won't do anything at 3. Instant Fusion. Yeah, you can instant fusion it, but it's really slow to remove stuff. Allure to 3 and Gold Sark to 3. This is where Cosmos got a huge boost. Gold Sark, your Dark Destroyer, and I mean they can bring it right back with Cosmotown. Same with Allure. Draw 2, bring it back to the hand with Cosmotown. It's not happy. I mean, I shouldn't say I'm not happy because I don't mind Cosmo as much, but this list didn't do anything to solve problems. I think well, I'll talk about this, but things I would have liked to see happen on this list. I would have liked to see Dark Destroyer at 1, Cosmo Town at 1, and maybe Tin Can to 2. Tin Can to 2 slows them down. And also Dark Destroyer at 1 with Cosmoton at 1. You can't recycle that Dark Destroyer as much, so we'll see. I mean, they can still loop Dark Destroyer a ton of times, so I don't think Cosmos will be hit, but we'll see what this meta brings. Other cards, as I said before, the Pen Call at 1 is not great. Honestly, though, this does open the door for a lot of other pendulum archetypes to be explored. I think Dynamists were kind of in that limelight as a slower pendulum deck, but now they can kind of come back or they can be seen as stuff. Allure helps Raid Raptors and Blackwings a ton, so that's nice. I really like those decks. I never really played them, but I do like them, so maybe they'll see a shot. Ryo to 2 I really like. Let's see. The cards I'm surprised didn't get hit. One of them is Kaiju Slumber, just because of how powerful that card is. But I mean, it's a dark hole with you get to do damage. So we'll see. That card I think is a card that on future lists will go to 1. But yeah, Skyris I'm happy didn't go down. I'm glad Dante didn't go down to 1. I really am actually. I like Dante. I think I like BA, and I've never played it, but I really like BA. It's not a deck where I find myself really frustrated about getting locked out of my game or being just like having my stuff tributed. But Dante I think is a good card because it'll help a lot of rank 3 decks still that need stuff in the grave. It'll help any deck that needs stuff in the grave. But yeah, sorry. It's late, guys. I'm tired. Maxi to 2. I don't know. That's an interesting call. But yeah, this list the one thing I would have also liked is Sork to go to 1, Pendulum Sorcerer, because I do think that card is still really strong, and it should have gone to 1, but Konami's got to sell their Megatons. So what's up, bud?
Hey, sorry.
Oh no, you're one of the things I really do think will happen is after that Megaton, Pendulum Sorcerer will go to 1, but we'll see. Who knows what Konami will do. So looking ahead, this format will be interesting. There's no I mean, ABCs will be good. Buy your light and imprisoning mirrors now. Blue Eyes, again, is affected by light imprisoning. And Blue Eyes will, I think, be the top deck. I think they have a lot of consistency issues that Pot of Desires help solve. ABCs will be very hurt by Ghost Ogre. I know we said that about BA, but Ghost Ogre is a card, and if you banish all of their ABC dragons, they become a rank 4 deck with slower than pendulums. So, I think ABCs will be very strong. I mean, you can see what they're doing in the OCG. They're a great deck, but it'll be a lot harder for them here. I mean, we have Cosmos, we have the Kaijus. We can Kaiju their ABC Dragon. So, yeah, no, not as many locks. Let's see. BA will still be strong. BA until they hit Dante to 1, or just destroy the entire deck. Basically, Skarm to 1, Dante to 1, Barfa to 1 even. BA will be a contender with Phantom Knights. Pure Phantom Knights might have a chance now to be a deck. Metal Foes and Yang Zings will be strong. Really depends. It really depends on what people start playing, and I mean, this is what I really like about Banlist Time. We get to see what people are innovating with now that we don't have these cards. So we'll see, and I am looking for this format. I will. My next video will be a list of what the top 10 decks I think will be for the next format once I get that sorted out. But yeah, it was nice talking to you guys, and comment down below and like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you next time with my next video. So yeah, thanks guys. Bye.